Good evening. I'm back. Going to go for it again. Gotta keep plugging away, man. Sometimes you just gotta keep going. Even when things are going slow and painfully. When you're going through the tedious things, that is when it can be sometimes the hardest. But I'm excited to see what this does when I plug it in. So that'll keep me pushing. All right, where was I? So I don't want to use mock data. I have actual data. We just need to call the playbook API in the same manner that the playbook.jsx does in the React PFFM web /source /app /coach folder does. We can set up the API calls in the API handler I created in the Unity app, Unity folders, and use the playbook. What is it? Playbook. Fetch play assets. Well, image loader probably does that too. Or is that just the loader? That one might not actually make API calls. This one might make API calls. Fetch, yeah, alright. I guess services. Fetch all plays. Create Unity folders and use the playbook. Service.cs or create a corresponding playbook data.cs to line up with the same with the playbook data.js in the React frontend. Also, we need to come up with a good way to dynamically set the base URL in Unity. When deployed to other devices where localhost will not be available. Yeah, I mean, why would I want to use mock data when I have actual data? I mean, mock data is good for testing, but certainly not something you want in your when you're trying to get things to work.
Yeah.
Mock data is like for validating that things work correctly, not just work. It puts an iOS. So iOS special IP for address emulator to access host localhost, but it's not going to work because hold on. We can't use localhost on devices because we're going to have the services. The services are where they're going. It actually has to browse to the service. Cannot use localhost for devices. Services will not be hosted on the device. They will be hosted on my backend host. I do not plan to deploy the Go services to the device. Let's see here, yeah. Because it was just putting in a hard-coded API values to localhost. I'm like, well, it's nice that the devices can do that, but I don't want to do that. It's like, I'm not going to deploy all my Go services to everything. That's the whole point of it being on the back end. I'm actually trying to figure out how that's true. I don't even know. How are we gonna... What if somebody goes to my site? No, I guess it is hosted on the server. So they go there, it's able to call to the back end. Well, I guess that works for the web thing, but it isn't going to work for the games or apps. Yeah, I don't know how that works. Yeah, that's kind of an interesting one. Because, like, what if I decide to put my website on a different host? I mean, ultimately, it comes down what the URL is. So whatever my URL is, for builds, use a default that should be overridden by the user or configuration. Server config.instance. I'm going to have to look into how do I do that. When I go to a production thing, I want to make it available online. So like, say I create an APK so someone can put it on their device. Or even like if I want to create an APK to test it on my device, I'm gonna want to be able to browse and hit my production service, because it'll only be on the production service. Because I guess I can probably do an IP address hit or some other Docker. I can go to the Docker URL and hit it, but I got to figure out a way to deploy that. It's got to be in the deployment file of the Unity. Sets it up to go call an API. All right, let's do that. It'd be nice if there was a way. Yeah, nah, because that's a different device. There's no way to share that information. No, users are not going to configure anything. No, users will not configure anything. I will deploy the application UI, APK, or XE, whatever, with the correct API base URL. I just need a configuration file or some other means to set that value as needed. Prior to building the deployment APK. I feel like, what if there's got to be... Yeah, I'm going to have to use my own host. This way I can direct it to whatever. I don't like redirects, though. Redirects are slow. It just creates another hit. So it's got to be where the service is hosting. I could do that. I'll have it like be a subdomain. I can do that. All right, what do we got here? What are you throwing at me? I don't see any changes here. What'd you do? Shows 2 changes, but there's no changes here. I don't know what those are. Oh, is it just the imports? But even that doesn't really show anything. That's weird. Huh. Okay. And what did this do? Just another import? Unity engine? How did I not have those already? See, it has this API base URL, but this is for current running. There's another one. I just put in the Unity engine. The app initializer. Another one is just API engine. It's not doing anything. You can set the API URL different environments using the enhanced editor UI. For example, leave as blah for staging protection. Set to your actual backend URL, apifootballsim.com, when building for distribution. Before building your APK.exe or other distribution package, open your server config asset. Set the API base URL to your production server URL. Ensure verbose logging is turned off for production. No runtime configuration is needed by users. You can easily switch between development and production URLs before building. The API URL is baked into the build. Different builds can target different environments. Your playbook service will automatically use the correct API. Is there a way to put in the production build value that will always be used when I create a deployment build, so that and leave the local host setting for development. Because usually when you do a build, it's like it would be part of the build tools. You can set up Unity to use different API URL configurations based on whether you're in a development mode or creating a production build. Let's implement a solution that automatically switches between localhost development and your production URL for deployment builds. That's what I want. Yes, there's a great way to automatically switch between development. Because see, I don't want to have to be changing that, because the last thing I want is say, all right, let's get out a new build, we fixed a bug, and then I accidentally leave it with the deployment build in there. the deployment API, and then of course everything breaks because now there's no API. Got the wrong API. That's the last thing I need. That's stupid stuff. I don't think I'll do it. I wouldn't want to do it, but I would definitely prefer to just know that I'm doing a build. It'd be smarter than that. Development API base URL. So when I have this, I can set that. Okay, keep. Allow user override true, production environment. Production API URL. You'll feel okay, so there we go. And then it has some condition, I guess, that's gonna Development API URL, production API URL, verbose logging. Okay, now we can move forward with the set plan for API stuff. I'll create an automated script to help you manage your builds and ensure that they always use the correct API URL setting based on whether you're creating a development production build. The script will also add some convenient menu items to help you quickly build for different environments. All right, sure, why not? Sometimes I'll say, okay, that sounds like it could be something minorly useful. If you haven't already, create the server config asset. Right click on your project window, select create FPFM server config, move it to the resources folder. Set your URLs once. Set your development URL to blah, set your production URL to your production server. Move it to a resource. Okay, so okay, let's try this. All right, so we're in the assets. Right click on your project window. Project window. Select create FPFM server config. Where's project window? Oh, this is the project window. Never mind. Create. Select create. How can I go to create FPFM server config? I don't. In this. There is no. FPFM is the name of my thing, but that's not in here. What are you talking about? Create the server config asset. Right click in the project window while I'm in here. No. No. Create the server config asset. This option. that exists in the right click menu. Or is there another, is there a create button? Because it's a right click menu. FPFM is my project name. Which folder? Project. Window. Do I click it? I think it's making stuff up. I think that would be what you call a hallucination. Why would there be an FPFM item? Oh, it's a thing once we compile. Oh. First, make sure all your scripts have been compiled by Unity. This takes a moment after adding the new scripts. The menu items from the blah 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 blah, or you should right click on the project when specifically in the assets folder or any other subfolder. So here, duplicate serializable attribute. Oh, we got some errors. That would be part of the problem. It's getting errors. Game data plays, fetch play assets. Where is config? Which one of these guys is not compiling? We're getting some errors. Where do we go back here? Getting some compile errors. We have, where is a play? Is it in the plays game data? Oh, where is the play class at? Oh, errors. We in the models /playbook /play.cs duplicate play class. What's the other one it's complaining about? It's the same one. We got play. Oh, they're both of those items are the problem. It's going to be interesting when I have to start resizing this stuff for smaller devices. Yeah, because obviously only one of those I want. I found the issue caused by two different play class definitions in Unity project. One in play.cs in your current file, another model CS line. This is causing harm because Unity doesn't know which play class to use. Let's resolve this by adding namespaces to differentiate between them. All right. Hopefully that takes care of that. And we'll be compiling shortly. Now let's update your playbook CS file to use the namespace version of it. Well, we're still having an issue here. Because oh, it was new errors. New problems. Playbook UI.cs. Now, playbook UI.cs. Looks like maybe it pointed to the wrong object there, because off-def spec team is right there. And it says off-def spec team. So we must be pointing to the wrong object. Oh, they just didn't add it. Ugh, now it's even worse. It's all over the place. It's plummeting out of control. Playbook UI, server settings UI. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of them. Alright, so playbook UI. Didn't I already do playbook UI though? Because when I go to models, huh. Argument cannot convert from playbook UI. Here's how the code can be fixed. What are we fixing? Fetch user playbook. The only problem with these fix commands is they are not very... They don't tell you what you're fixing. It just gives you all the code, and then you have to try to figure out what line actually gets changed. I guess you don't have to, but you probably want to. On error, yield request. Really? Really? Huh. Cannot yield a value in the body of a try catch block with a catch. Text. That didn't change anything though. We're still in a try catch block? Did it do anything else? User playbook. User. Oh, enhance plays with images. Oh, enhance play with images. It's doing this whole this thing instead. And then we gotta go. Got this error because enhanced play method was defined to accept a parameter of type play, but the code was passed of type playbook.play. This might be happening because the play class is defined playbook namespace, and the other method's signature does not explicitly use the full qualified name. Here's how I fixed the code. I updated this method to explicitly use the full qualified type FPFM playbook play. Really? Start core routine. Where are we? Playbook service. Let's see. Order on the right side. Start core routine. Where is that? Oh, start core. Oh. Coroutine, enhance coroutine. Oh, so this is doing something different here. Fetch image URLs. I'm not exactly sure. Did it totally rewrite this? I enumerate fetch. I enumerate enhance plays with images. Where is that? Oh, this is the one I want. So essentially it just did this. Gotta put this in here. I think everything else stays the same. You'll return start core routine, fetch plays image, fetch play image URLs, image data for each play plays, image data contains key. Alright, so I think we might be good for that one. So still complaining about this item. No, it's getting rid of the try catch. Fine, then we won't do an error. Oh, it's not using. Still doing yield return though. Now it's putting it inside. Okay, so it doesn't know how to fix this. That seems to be the problem. It doesn't know how to fix this. Because it's just, it's going around in circles now. It says, oh, well, let me put it back in. Oh, wait, let me take it back out. Oh, wait, let's put it back in. So... I don't even know how that's different. Let's go Claude. And see what Claude says about this. No, it swapped. I knew it was going to do that. Alright, so something is not right. Can't you? Alright, so let's copy this. Can I copy this? Copy. Oh, I hate that this keeps setting back. Let's see if Claude has a better idea what's going on here. So the problem is down here where we're doing the download, request download text, download handler text. Whew, it's doing the whole procedure, unfortunately. The yield inside try-catch block history. I restructured the fetch user playbook method so that the enhanced plays web images routine is called outside the try-catch block. This resolves added serialized field attribute to all serialized fields in JSON. Refactored the enhanced play with method, changing how the works to avoid nesting yielding and simplified the flow. Alright. Looks like it basically rewrote or did a lot of things inside this class though. Nope, shouldn't, I don't want to do that. Private I enumerator, where did you do that? I enumerator fetch all plays, no plays with images. Enhance plays with images? What code are you replacing? Placing here. Everything below the enhance plays with images. Give me a bunch of code and it's there, but I don't know if it's giving me everything or what. Oh gosh, it's not what I asked. Didn't ask you to fix it, just asked you to know what you've replaced. Enhance plays with images, fetch user plays. Fetch user plays. Fetch user playbook. Okay, so it is. It's giving me random updates. So I got to go through and grab every function that it changed. All right, so fetch user plays, user playbook is this one. And then it also went ahead and gave me this guy, which is enhance plays with images, which is enhance plays with images, this one. So we have an available plays.cs. It's this guy, which is probably missing the call using nope, that didn't work. Well, that is the play. Where's the... Doesn't? It does too. Play image right there. Nope. 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 But I probably should put the semicolon in the end. All right. I don't know what the problem is here. I wonder if I don't know, I gotta see what it's doing to declare this because it's obviously not doing it the way I think it's supposed to be done. So I have to go I can't use Copilot because Copilot keeps swapping back. Or at least this version of Copilot does. Swapping back to ChatGPT 4 and it's bonking it. Extra semicolon. Oh, well, that was just stupid. That was just now. No bearing on anything. I've already put this in though. It didn't work. Okay, well that still doesn't fix most of the problem. Thing is, play does contain that. It says it doesn't have it, but it does have that. Private, private, big, P-L-A-Y, little P-L-A-Y. But it didn't change anything. Oh, is it changing a different file? Where's play card? You wanna play playbook plays. Oh, here we go, play card. Oh. It was calling a reference to another file that was broken, not that one itself. Or not. It's like, oh yeah, I got your fix right here, buddy. It's like, no you don't. Hmm. Right. Let's copy this here. Go over to my other friend. See if it can figure it out from over here. What is that? Editor, inline chat, configure cookbook, manage copilot, open chat. Oops. And then I have to go over here and open it in a new window and close it again because that was a mistake. I killed it! I'm so sorry, Copilot. I didn't mean to kill you. That was just a big boo-boo. D-Demon! Play is being missed somewhere. Huh? Play is being missed somewhere. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I know. I keep compiling it. I keep trying to track it down. No, don't worry. Don't worry about the Nightbot. It doesn't like links. I don't mind an occasional link. Besides, that's not supposed to be a link. That's just you giving me a sample of my code. Yeah, it's weird because I have it in there, and that's what's throwing me off. Okay, so it does exist. So it says play.name. It's referencing FPFM playbook, and you can see I have play.name right there. So something is not right. So, I mean, I have it referencing back, but it's almost like it doesn't recognize it or it's not being used. So there's something not right, obviously. Not at the moment. I know it's a dummy. No, no, I'm not trying to refine a mesh at the moment. What I'm trying to do is just get my I'm trying to get this React page up. Now, this is a minor fix I got to fix in React, but this is showing all the plays, and then I'm trying to set my playbook, but I need to get it to compile before I can put it. So I'm trying to do this in Unity. You think I should put the whole thing in here? That's a suggestion it's giving too. Let's see what it says. Okay. Oh, so maybe do it here too? Hey dude, good job, man. That did it. Wow, very good, D-Demon. You're the man. Let's go do it over here in the playbook thing too now. Playbook plays. Oh, it's doing the same thing. See, just need somebody who knows what they're doing. Let's see, what is this one? This is Playbook UI. It's probably having the same problem. Just an array of plays. Got a lot of plays here. It's not going to give it to me automatically, apparently. So I wonder if putting that in here. Seems like kind of. It seems like when you. But the thing is, when you import, shouldn't you just be able to reference this? I mean, if it's imported, you shouldn't have to put it in everywhere. I mean, that's the whole point of the using. It's supposed to let you reference the objects without importing it. I shouldn't have to prefix it. If you bring it in like that. Yeah, that's not supposed to be the problem. Oh, it's supposed to be a thing. Cannot implicitly convert blah 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 play. Oh wait, doesn't like what I did. I did something it doesn't like. Getting carried away, I guess. Cannot implicitly convert system collections generic list play to system collection list FPFM playbook plays. Okay, well. Guess I overstepped my bounds. Start coroutine. Start coroutine. Here's how to. I don't even know. It's like I hate that it gives me this and then it doesn't tell me where it actually. Where it's. Oh, here it is. Start code. Fetch all plays, but I still don't like having to guess. So, oh, I see. It's putting that in. See, the whole having to the whole point of using is so you don't have to call these, and yeah, it's making me do it everywhere. I mean, do I even need the using if I'm doing it that way? That seems weird. What's that? 16 errors, man. Boo. I didn't even fix it. It's just. Ugh. What is my current file over here? Ugh. All this because play was declared twice. That's really the whole problem. I should have just not let play get declared twice. Like I said, AI tends to walk you into problems quite frequently. Okay, it's not for the amount it helps. It's not a big deal, but still, it's like dumb things, you know. It's like it'll help you a ton, but then it makes stupid mistakes. And then those stupid mistakes make sure that you don't make too much headway. It's like you don't want to. It doesn't want to let you get too far ahead. So let's go ahead and do something dumb like declaring the same thing twice because it doesn't look at your code and make sure that it doesn't already exist. Why does it do that? I don't know. It does dumb things. All right, so we got defense toggle on value change. Na-na-na. Oh, come on, really? Gonna make me do it again. Oh. I don't think this code base works anyway. Let's take that out. Cannot convert lambda expressions. Oh. Oh, that's just the title of my thing. Never mind. So, oh, now I'm getting AI is blowing up on me now. Bad request. All right, fine. I'm on my own. Let's go work. Let's go work on this. All right. Ugh. So why do I have... All right, so let me just try something else here. Why is there two definitions of play? That's probably the bigger question here. Let's see. Where else is this being declared? Because this is obviously happening more than once. There it is. Playbook plays, play UI. We got public class play in models. And we have public class play in game models model. And team and playbook plays class play. So it's in the... All right, so we got... They're all in the models. But one's in... game models. Oh. Geez, really? Game models. I'll just delete this one. It doesn't look like I'm even using this anywhere. That's not even the correct definition of my play. Go away. Let's just get rid of the problem. That'll fix probably half my problems right there. Then I don't have to do all that other nonsense. Of course, then the full declaration is probably not necessary anymore, but... That was a placeholder thing. That wasn't even supposed to exist anymore. This is correct as far as that goes. Formation ID, play type ID. What all? Let's go look at what my play is supposed to have in it. Play. Sometimes AI will try to fix a problem by adding code. It doesn't usually say, "Oh, you have this. Let's just make it so you can have both." And it's like, did you even look if I needed the other one? Because it's not being used anywhere. You could suggest if you don't want to delete. I can understand AI not wanting to delete code because that's bad, right? I mean, code shouldn't vanish, so it just writes more code in, and that's kind of one of the problems when you start. It'll keep writing code in to fix. It'll only change some lines, but it won't delete code. Dude, it's because it must be seeing your stuff as a link of some kind. This is not even a link. Why is it saying that? Dude, 10 minutes, is that where you went? I thought you just weren't answering me. Problem you're running into is a classic name problem. Your problem is name class play. Yeah, it was a double up. It was a double up on the play class. And what AI decided to do was, instead of calling out the fact that one of those wasn't being used, it just said, "Here, let's do this," and it changed the name. You know, it puts the full prefix in, which required all the calls to it to reference it. When in fact, the problem was just I should have just tracked it down and deleted the one that wasn't being used, and that would have fixed all of those guys. Because I actually think doing that probably, if I go look at this correctly now, let's go look at my output is error list. See, I went from 20 some errors and got rid of all those problems, but now they're broken in the opposite direction because you don't need them to be. That doesn't exist anymore. So if I actually think I want to get rid of all those prefix things because I don't need them anymore. And this shouldn't be namespace. I shouldn't be calling. I'm in the playbook play class. This should be the namespace should be. Well, I guess I am in the playbook, but I have a play class and a public class playbook. So yeah. Well, it needs to be kept at the point of what a play is, right? It's for me, a play is the object. I actually have a play object, which is referring to the individual play of a game. So while a game simulation is running, so yeah, it needs to be kept at that level, and then, right, of the gameplay. So I have, see my, go away. So here's my playbook, and then my playbook has a play in it. You know, your playbook has plays in it. So a play is the actual object that a play runs. So you run a play, you're running that object. That object as the action. So everything that has to do with a play, it shouldn't be namespaces, really. There should be like there should just be one parent namespace, like the, I don't know, FPFM, whatever it is. And then the objects underneath it should be their own thing. And so I actually have, the object it's trying to look at is this. This is a play. So I got the ID, the user ID, whether they own the play itself, off-dance spec play type ID, function formation ID, created at, updated at, the assignments that go with it. So this is actually the play. So just like I have a playbook, well, what plays go in the playbook? And that's what these are, those. So that's the object that is a play. The simulator will take that play and process it. But then I call that something else. I call that like, I have a play log. It generates a play log that it sends to the UI. The UI will then run that, render the play log. The play log is everything that happens in the play. So the back end generates the whole play log, sends it to the front end renders it. And then it'll get another play and send that play log up, that kind of thing. So it's going to keep processing play logs as it goes through based on the plays that are sent in, because it's got to get a new play and tell the system what plays are going to be used, and then it calls back and sends up a new play log for rendering. That's what's going to happen when everything is up and functioning. I have all that stuff set up. But ultimately, the only object that's called a play is this one right here. And there's actually a couple of different types of plays. There's playbook plays, which are the plays that are put into the playbook. A user associates them to his playbook, because these are the plays that the game owns. Every play available to the entire system is a play. And then when a player gets those as part of they're building their collection, and they get some plays and users and or not users, but players, they can also get other stuff. But right now it's the collection plays. These are what the users earn and put in their collection. And then the playbook plays are the collection plays that got put into their playbook. So if they have more than one playbook, because they have more than one team, they can add their collection plays to all those playbooks. So you can have multiple, things going on. So I did kind of allow AI to come up some of its own ideas, which was kind of a mistake. And this is what happens. This is what happens with AI. And this is both AI's fault and my fault. Yeah, it's kind of a combination of things. Okay, so I don't know Unity. I know C# a little bit, but this is all object models I know nothing about, right? So it's like all all of the stuff that's related there. And I haven't used the latest versions of C Sharp. I was writing code for a long time in C Sharp, but it was .NET framework, and it was none of it was, you know, a lot of the stuff has changed, which is for me new. I'm learning it, and I spent all this time getting Go and all that stuff down. But so when I go into these new applications like Unity, which up until a week ago I had never seen Unity, I didn't know how to use it. So I'm like 3 or 4 days worth of Unity in. So I'm certainly not skilled. So I tell AI what I want, what I'm trying to accomplish, and it builds me the app with some infrastructure, not the whole app because it's not smart enough for that. This is too complex for AI app creation, but it's able to create me some of the basic code. And then it kind of gives me some steps to create the front end stuff. That's what I've been doing over here, trying to create all of my page and my field and my character and putting all that stuff on the field. But that's all kind of in progress. But now I'm like, all right, let's create a page that actually works. Let's attach something to the back end. So I'm trying to build my playbook thing. And in letting AI I says, you know what? Let's see if AI can help guide the path of recreating playbook in Unity, so that I don't have to rebuild the wheel. You know, take some of that code, kind of convert it into the logic that would be used by Unity, which is C# and the front end. So it's guiding me on the front end. I got a lot of that in place. It put in a lot of code that kind of converts the stuff that's in Playbook. What it didn't do was use the same naming conventions that I used in Playbook. So as a result, it's created some files and classes that are using my same names in different places. So that's how I'm getting these duplicates. So I gotta reel it in and say, okay, whoa, hold on here. Let's generate. I gotta go back and kind of generate a format that lets it model what I'm already doing, like in React, because React is doing a lot of the same stuff. It's probably not. It's not going to look as good. Obviously, it's React. It's not Unity, but the base layouts, file structures, that kind of stuff needs to be kind of similar, so that I don't have these kind of play problems. So as long as I'm referencing the same objects, we should be fine. And then I can get back to it. So I have my data folder here, like you see. This is my football sim. This is React. And then when I go into the Unity app, which is this guy, I should have a data, but I don't. I'm not using data. I call it game data. Similar. You vibe too hard. Yes, I vibe some. I vibe to get things started is the problem. This app is way too complex for vibe coding. So I end up having to what I do is I let AI kind of help build me the base. And then once I start getting more familiar, that's what happened with all of my Go services, right? So Go services, I didn't know Go at all either. When I started in December, I had never heard. Oh, I'm not. In fact, if it wasn't for AI, I wouldn't have gotten where I am. I've gotten like 8 months worth of coding done I'm probably closing in on a year's worth of coding done in about 5.5 months. I'm way ahead of the curve for what I knew to begin with, especially. Having 10 services all loading and running all of my code. But I've had to go through and work with the code a lot to structure it correctly. So yeah, I'll like vibe it into existence, but since it doesn't work most of the time, I have to go back and like massage it into actual functional code. But it gives me enough that I'm able to guide the permutations. So yeah, it sometimes, you know what it's really good at? You know what AI is the best at? Is like in React, is its layout functionality. It does really, really, really good with layout functionality. Like if you say something like, I need an app that does this in the front. Like I need it to lay out like this, and I want this kind of this, and I want this and this and this. It will come up with something that looks almost exactly like you had in your head, and it's really impressive about how well it'll create the visual effects. And it's pretty good at giving you the parts that connect to the back end and such, but they don't always work because it's got like, it doesn't look at your back end code very well. You also need to go and tell it, okay, well, I'm using this and this and this and this. You got to give it very distinct commands, which of course we know this, right? If you've been working for GPT, if working with GPT or Claude or any of those, you have to be very, very explicit on your commands. But it will still mess up. Now that my code is getting so big that I have so many things, I'm always changing, editing, retweaking, retooling, and oftentimes I just say, screw AI. That's when I'm like, I'm not online most of the time, and I'm just going down and heads down coding, trying to fix a lot of what it did. Yeah, it's I think as you learn more, like a lot of times now that I'm finally getting familiar with how Go works, um, a lot of times when I see problems, I just fix them. I don't even use GPT anymore for that. I don't use GPT much at all. I mean, I use Claude, but what I'm saying is I go in when I see a fix, I now know what's causing those problems. But I still use it a lot because even as a coder that is starting to get pretty good at some of the stuff I'm using now, new languages, it still types way faster than me. It can do pages of code in the time and syntax error free code in a fraction of the time it takes me to type. And I type okay, but just the logic of creating entire functions and processes, especially for things that are pretty straightforward, I tell Claude to do it. I say, I don't even want to type it. It's just too much. Especially like when say for example, I need to create a new service. And this happens, and I will have to do it again in Go. That requires a minimum of 10 files, each one with at least 20 to 50 lines of code. Just to set them up, just to get the basic structures in place. In multiple services cross, it's got to do the gateway, it's got to do the proto files, it's got to do the service, the types, the gRPC handler, the main. All those files have to be created. In addition, if you have any seed data, you got to load that up. And then you have basic loading of those seed data, that kind of stuff. That stuff I can type, but I can tell Go to do it or tell the AI to do it, and it'll drop it all out in like, a minute. And I've got all of my basic code because it already knows. I just have to make sure I tell it to model that code after one of my existing services. I say model this after this and create the gateway file and the proto file that's needed to make this function. And you can just follow the same patterns and it'll create the exact same pattern service. And then all I have to do is go in and start adding the specific functions, the things that I need that particular service to handle. And it's just, it saved me probably a day's worth of work easily just in doing that. The other thing it's really good at is creating automated unit tests, especially in Go. I haven't tried it in other tools, but Go's got a lot of built-in handlers for testing. So it's actually part of Go to have unit testing, which is really nice. So you can actually go in there and say, all right, I have this service, set up unit testing in it following the same model as this other service. And it'll go through and generate all of the mocks, a bunch of tests, one for every function you have. It'll run the basic gambit of tests for that item. It's great for creating your test setups, and it creates all that stuff really nice. So setting up automated unit testing is great. Now, it doesn't go on without a hitch, but when you're talking about setting up 20 different tests, it might be 7 or 8 tests with like 2, 3, 4, 5 different subtests within that test, things it has to do for that item to validate it. It'll crank that stuff out in seconds. It might take me an hour to fix the problems it comes up with because it doesn't always get it fully right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The typing it does is just hours and hours and hours of work. And I still don't know all of the functions in Go. I mean, I can go research them, but why? I could just say, I need to put in this functionality right here. And it'll go, oh, okay, well, I'll do that. And it'll plop in that functionality. And I'm like, oh, okay, so that's how you do it. You did it with this function or that function. And then sometimes I'll look at it and go, yeah, yeah, but that has this problem or that problem. Sometimes I'll just fix it because it'll give me what I want. That basically works. But like if it uses a bad naming convention or if it uses bad, it doesn't follow the previous paradigms that I've set up or designed, I'll go through and fix them. But overall, I like to let it just dump little chunks of code. A lot of times I'll handle it in pieces. But when I don't know a big thing like Unity, like right now, I know nothing about Unity. I tell it, this is my goal for this task. I need to come up with something that pretty much does X, Y, and Z, and it'll give me a bunch of code. And usually I accept it. I'll take the whole thing and then I massage it. So this is day one of me trying to generate this page that took me, I mean, like I said, it's not showing the images right now, but it's actually pretty cool when it shows them all. I'll get those fixed soon. But this page took me probably 2 or 3 days to get set up and built in a functioning way. And so I'm on day one of doing it in Unity, an app I've never done before. So it's not so bad. I don't mind letting AI do a lot of it. And it's kind of funny because it makes errors that I personally would never make if I was coding my app straight. But I know I would make a lot of syntax errors, just fat fingering stuff or missed parentheses or something. I'd miss some kind of syntax thing, especially since I'm working in so many different languages right now, between React and Go and now C Sharp. React, Go, and C Sharp are 3 languages I'm constantly in. And then sometimes I got to work on JSON files and I'm working with a Mongo database, which has its own little things. And then you have to work in YAML. I mean, I have so many languages going. I'm often typing the wrong syntax simply because I'm working in all these different languages at once. So it can get a little, so it's nice to be able to work it with AI because AI will do the right language and it doesn't make syntax errors. You don't have things like missing parentheses or missing semicolons and wrong case for something. It may give you you just have to go through and correct the stuff that you don't like. Try to do it in small enough chunks. Usually that's what I do. I use small enough chunks. But since this is new, I'm just I tend to be a dive in the deep end kind of guy. Like a lot of people say, stay in the shallow waters when you're developing a game, build something small and easy, get some success. I'm like, I don't need that. I have a game I want to develop. Screw the shallow end, man. Just whoosh. I don't know Go. I don't know React very well. I don't know Unity, but yep, we're going to do all that stuff. Let's just whoosh, splash, and we'll take AI and GPT with me, and we'll just figure this mess out. And I keep saying GPT. I actually use Claude more than GPT. The only reason I'm using GPT here is because this stupid thing keeps resetting it back. I have to keep clicking on here. When I'm fixing bugs, it keeps setting it back to GPT. Especially GPT-4, which is like the old version of Claude. I say old because they both were about equal in there. I still liked Claude. Even when I was doing it then, I still preferred Claude over GPT-4 because Claude is just better at explaining things and telling you stuff. I learn more from Claude because Claude will tell you what it's doing, why it's doing it, and kind of give you some more, a little bit more information. So GPT kind of, and then Claude will actually tell you, if you tell it to only give you the piece that you need to work with, it'll give you only the piece you need to work with. It'll tell you what needs to change, what needs to be fixed. GPT, it's so annoying. You'll ask it, all right, I need to fix this. So it gives you the entire procedure, sometimes the entire page of code, and says, I fixed it for you. And I'm like, okay, what'd you fix? I'm not going to copy and paste the entire thing. So I got to go line by line and look for what it changed. And if I've got 200 lines of code in there, I'm going to kick something. I mean, granted, I can scan down and try to the area that I need, and hopefully it's there. But sometimes it does something different, like it does an import that I missed. I don't know, something silly like that. But it's at the top. Or the fix might be a declaration that's somewhere in the middle. That's not necessarily in the function. So it might not change anything in the function. Or sometimes it's something small in the function that you can't see because it's just doesn't, your eye doesn't catch it because it's tiny. And then it won't even tell you what it did sometimes. You'll look at the bottom. I fixed it in this procedure. It's like, well, what did you do in the procedure? I like to see what it's doing to fix stuff. So I don't like to take wholesale changes after I've created code. I only take wholesale code on the first run through when I'm creating the base stuff. So yeah, anyway. That's my thing. That's my strategy with working with this stuff. Let's get this fixed. So we're down to just 10 errors now, which probably means I can, so I don't need this anymore, I don't think. What is the problem though? I don't know, declare type. But it should be. Do I even need this anymore? Now that I dumped the, this is gonna break a lot of stuff in here. But I think I can get away from it now. Oh. Wait. How much of a problem did I just create? I created a whole bunch of errors. His namespace, but is used like a type. What? Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Nope, that didn't work. FPFN. All right, how do we undo what I was doing? I don't like going. Well, it's not a gameplay. It's an object. It's an actual play. It's the play object. So it is the play that is in the playbook. Your playbook has plays. That's what it is. The gameplay is actually a play log. Gameplay log. It's not even gameplay. I don't even use game in my game very often. I have game sessions. I have game status, game states, but I don't have game as an object in my game. My game has no game. But there is a play. I have players, I have plays, I have other things. See, like, this is an interesting strategy. Okay, so this is a setup situation, right? I mean, like, you have the models, and the models have the play, right? But then you have this form, which is game models, which is just a model class, which goes through and defines everything in here. I've seen both of these before. It's almost like the way React will do functions. There's more than one way to skin a cat, right? Where you can do, in React, you can do an export of a function. You can do a function and then do the exports at the end. You can do a default function and then have default and the exports at the end. Or you can just export them all at once. Export them as you declare them. And and then there's the other option of creating a parent class that has all the functions in it, and then they just become methods of the parent class, which is kind of like what's happening with this model here. So you got this model, and what happens here, the way this came out to exist, is when I first started working in Unity a week ago, 3 days in or 2 days in, it was giving me some code and saying, let's set these things up, and here's a models function, a models class. But I didn't have any, at the time I wasn't worried about it, which I probably should have been. And I was like, okay, let's take these placeholder things and we'll just create them. And then I'll worry about connecting them all to the back end when I get to it. And now I'm trying to connect things to the back end, and it's giving me new way of doing things, because this is the dumbness about AI, is it doesn't remember your code and it doesn't check to see how your code is currently set up to determine if it should continue forward. You know, it's like, oh, should we do it new? Well, hey, let's just do it new. Create a models folder and put the play in the models folder. And I thought, all right, let's create the models folder. But now I'm creating classes for every model, one for the plays, one for whatever, instead of just doing this, which has every object. Hey, you decided to follow me, huh? Cool, thanks, man. I don't know that we have we? Maybe if you've ever been on my stream before. I don't know. It's possible. Have you been around on any of my other... I do have another stream. But I don't think we've met. I mean, how would I... What are the odds? What are the odds of meeting? Unless you got my stream information from some other source. I don't know how we would have met. I mean, 15 gajillion billion people in the world. I'm in the Northwest. Who's that? Could be your father? Well, I haven't told my kids to do that in a long time, because they're all adults. And oddly enough, Kelowna? No, I don't think so. I don't even know where Kelowna is. Where is that at? Is that in Washington, or is that in Oregon? I mean, I guess it could be Idaho too. I mean, there's 3 states in the Northwest. Oh, you're in Canada. Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense. It's more of a Canada. Near Kamloops and Vancouver. Oh, you're more Northwest. Yeah. You're about... That would put you at about... I want to say 3 hours north of me. If you're up by Vancouver, I think it's about 3 hours for me to get to Vancouver. So close. Kind of close. But my youngest kid is 23, 22. I think he's 22. He's gonna be 23 this year. So, yeah, they're kind of doing their own thing now. I mean, he lives here still, but he keeps his room clean just fine. He's actually really good at it. Surprisingly enough, his older brothers weren't as good at keeping their rooms clean. But he does pretty good. The only thing I ever did that required me to fly was it wasn't a job. Oh, well, it was kind of a job. I have a product that I sell. It's called the Mage Cage and the X-Case, and I flew quite a bit to conventions to go sell it. But and the only hotels I've ever stayed in were in Vegas, Texas, Chicago, stuff like that. Um, since I live here, obviously I don't stay in hotels here. So yeah, I don't travel much. I've never had jobs that had me travel. The only time I ever had to travel for a job, I had a consulting gig way back that sent me to Arizona for a week. Yeah, possibly. I'm a mini rock. I've had people tell me I kind of look like the rock sometimes, but I'm about one half his size and weight. I'm I'm not I'm not a tiny guy, but I'm certainly no rock. But yeah, so I don't necessarily take that as a it's not an insult by any means. The guy's pretty talented, I guess, but depends on the day. If I can get I can't do the eyebrow thing where he just looks with his giant eyebrow jumps up into his forehead. He's pretty good at doing that, giving you that serious look. My eyebrow only goes up like half an inch, though. Anyway, I don't think I'd want to have all my models in the same file because I would have a ton of models. These are just where it created them, but ultimately, I think a lot of these I'd have to break them down. I think this model uh, is similar to the types of Go. Types has a types.go file, and you usually put all of your this basically all your models in your types.go files. But I have one for every class or for every service. So that would probably be a good way to do this. In fact, I probably should restructure this whole thing to mimic my Go services and or my React application. So this way my objects all kind of they make sense, right? Now, because I'm using backend that's calling a lot of the files up, and if I have to set them up with models, I might represent my models in the same way. And I kind of like doing it this way. So, like my playbook will be all my service classes for playbook. So really what I should do is mimic all of these classes that might come into Unity if they have to come in, just the ones I need to, but have a playbook services for dang it. So all these types that go, the ones that need to come in as classes, I would pull them in. I'm actually wondering if it should be plays at all. Because now that I think about it, I have collection plays and playbook plays, and those are what are going into the playbook. Huh, that just occurred to me. They should not be called plays. In fact, plays is not going to ever. I mean, I guess there's a chance I'd use this object for like maybe a checklist thing option if I ever get around to putting that in, but I don't think that's ever going to be around. These are the two things I'm using: collection plays and playbook plays. Available plays are collection plays. Playbook plays are the plays in your clay. I didn't even think about that. I should probably rename those. Yeah. However, there is the issue of we have it might be a custom object though. I may have to have a front end formation of the object. These are the IDs that need to be pulled, but I need to have information like what is it? Playbook ID, user ID. just occurs to me too. There's a flaw. I have a missing item. My collection plays aren't pointing to a play. Oops. Collection plays need to point to a play. Because they're not, I can't get the information I need off of this for filtering or anything if I don't have the play IDs. Yeah, that's a problem. So if I add the play ID in there, see, I won't be able to filter anything without. I don't even know how I'm connecting those. The only way that would work is if I copy them, but that means I have to put all those fields in, and I don't want to do that. We just need pointers to the play object that allow me to get the play. And for filtering purposes, I have to pull it all up. Yeah, it's going to be a custom object. So I'll have to call it collection plays, but it'll be like a custom object. It won't be this object, because this is only that object. It's just an array to the play. A subtable. This is going to have to have play ID in it. I don't know why. That has to exist. All right, so I need to make some changes. I guess I'm not going to get this working right now. This stuff has to work, has to be pointed right. So this is going to be, like you said, renamed. So I wonder if I want to, I think I might want to just name it. I want to create it like this, not like this. I don't think it needs a namespace. We're going to call it, we're going to change this. It's going to be called, all right, so everywhere that I have play, let's just do a mass, has to make sure I use the full word. We're going to take this out. I know, I'm probably breaking the world right now. I'm breaking the absolute world. This is gonna make a meltdown here. My whole system's gonna go, ah, what are you doing to me? No. It's time to clean house, man. I'm gonna break so many things right here. Collection plays, sure. I was thinking I'd go with user plays, but I thought I have to go with collection plays because it's the plays that are in a collection. And although a collection belongs to a user, but that's another thing. So, time for me to take control of the naming process here, because this is going to be a serious problem if I don't get it fixed. So I got collection plays, and go to players here. How am I doing with players? I think it's collection players, right? Yeah, collection players. This is player source ID, which would really just be player ID, but I called it player source ID, whatever. All right, so just for consistency, we got team player and playbook plays and collection player. And they're connected to a user ID. Perfect. Perfect. And this one should also be collection plays with a user ID. Yes. Got it. All right, so this will allow me to find the right stuff. All right, so now we're going to go back over here. And this is still the wrong one. Let's close that and go back to the right one. Now, we're going to do a mass find. Shift F. And we're going to go looking for everything that says fpfm dot playbook dot play. Match whole word. And we're just going to look in the project. And let's see what it gives me back before I do anything nuts. That's actually not too many things. I actually thought it'd be a lot more. I'm probably doing something totally wonky here. I'm just trying to create it like an object, like this thing here. So we got, this has Unity Engine. You and the guys, huh? What movie you guys gonna watch? Anything good? Yeah, you take it easy, man. I will be going to bed here shortly anyway, because I got to get up bright and early, 5-ish, do my workout so I can work some more on this tomorrow. Yay! Maybe I'll get it all cleaned up and actually be able to get my playbook thing running and compiling. Who knows? You have a good one, D-Demon. Enjoy your evening up in Canada-ish. Let's see here. A game session. I think we're good. Let's go ahead and do a mass find and replace now. Place in files. We're just going to change that to play. That don't look like too many changes, so oh, and it's gonna have to be collection play. Oh. Alright, so we gotta find match case. Gonna go play. This is going to be collection play. Alright, so we're gonna play. Set status. Play complete. Ready for next play. I don't need that one to be replaced, but well, that's not too bad. Play data, private. All right. I'm just trying to see if any of these other ones are comments. So, because the only one I'm going to need to fix are the comments. All right, so we're going to say Okay, it's just going to be play. It's supposed to be play as well. That one's supposed to be play as well. Just fixing the comments. And I think that is it. Okay. Save all. Alright, so now we don't have play anymore because it's not supposed to be a play. It's supposed to be a collection play. And we can go look at, where is it? Oh, we're down to 20. Which is where? We're in the game controller. Play. Play name? Oh, I think it's just name. I think that is an issue with the fact that it's just supposed to be name. Do I have formation in my? Do I have formation in my play? And why do we have setup for me? Oh, is this the play editor? Oh, that's run game. No, that's different. No, we don't. I don't even think I need that. Setup formation is going to be a. I'm doing a different process with this. This was when I was originally going to have. Yeah. This is a placeholder function that's not actually going to run this way. I don't need this. This function doesn't need to exist. Setup formation. That's a dead idea. I came up with a more efficient way to do this, and I'm not going to bother with that. It's part of the execute play steps, is what that is. So. Now we still have issues there. Collection play does not contain a definition for steps. Why would it? For one, that's a comment. I don't know. We're going to go current play equals play. Why do I have a play object here? Oh, collection play is a start a new play based on data from backend. Is that what I'm doing? I'm sending a play? No. No. See, this whole function's going to be weird. I probably shouldn't have built this function yet. I'm not ready for this function. I let this build it when I was doing other stuff as a placeholder, but it's got too many problems. As a placeholder, it's no longer... Now that I'm actually attaching real objects, I can't... What would I even be doing with this? Current play. Oh, current play, not collection play. Current play. I think this is supposed to be the play log. I don't think I actually have. And what's it trying to do? Process each step. For each oh, you know what that is? I think that's supposed to be, maybe it is the current play. Okay, so I think what that's trying to be is the route assignments. It's trying to go through the route assignments to define what it needs to do. And it's calling it steps. Okay, so the route assignments are the actual process that it goes through to actually so it has a route action. That's what it's going to do. Which means I have to actually get all this stuff and pull it into this pull it in with the play. So when the play comes in, I have to pull in the route assignments and the route actions. Route assignments, route actions. Player position. That's where they are when that occurs. At that position. So how do I get that? All right, so I think in general, if I remember correctly how to do this in C#, actually, you know what? I'm going to bed. I think I know what I need to do. This, I think I actually fixed the play problem, but these are issues that are related to other things now that I fixed the play problem. And now I need to get my current play, which is probably good that it did that because it's missing steps, but that's not really what it is. It's supposed to be the route actions, which didn't exist at the time that I did this. So yeah, I have to get that in there. And I'm trying to think of the best way to do that. I may have to work with AI. I think it's just object array for another object below it, but I'm trying to see how do I want to pass that up to the UI. And the thing is, this doesn't even exist. This doesn't even yet exist in React. So this is like a new thing. It's going to be in React too, but now I'm trying to create the object that's actually going to go up to the UI. And so if I create it here, I'll have to create it in React at some point. I know this is not what I was focusing on, but I need to get things to compile. So what I need to do is create a definition that's going to work, even if I don't pull it back yet. And I'd like to create it correctly. So it'll be ready. I only got 18 errors now, and these are all new. They're not play related. They're other stuff that's just not yet defined correctly.